Hello, in this work, we show one method how to explain the output of a deep learning-based NIRM method. Non-intrusive road monitoring or energy disaggregation refers to breaking the aggregate smart meter readings down to individual appliances that are used in the house. NIRM can be used for to provide energy-specific energy feedback, to support smart home automation, for anomaly detection, retrofit advice. It can also be used for safety, as a safety measure, and so on. And because of this many applications of NIRM, NIRM has been researched for over 40 years, and there were many signal processing and machine learning methods that have been proposed. Recently, deep learning has been used for NIRM, and currently, since 2015, there are more than 100 deep learning approaches that are applied to NIRM there, and they were tested on various data sets with many metrics used, and most of them are in fact not very intuitive, like NDE, MSE, and they do not give the insight into real accuracy. On the other hand, there has been a lot of work on explainability, on explaining machine learning models. We know that deep learning networks are not inherently explainable, so we need a post hoc tools, post hoc algorithms to explain or to open the black box and explain deep learning model outcomes. Why do we need this specifically for NIRM? Well, to improve the trust and transparency in the NIRM system so that we can improve engagement with home energy management systems. The focus of explainable SAI methods have mainly been on image processing and natural language processing applications, including domains such as health, autonomous driving, and finance, and not much has been done on time series data, and especially in the energy domain. While we have started looking at that last year in our non-intrusive road monitoring workshop paper, and now in this paper we are building further on that our initial work. So our goal was to take one well-known and well-benchmarked CNN-based NIRM method. In specific, we use sequence-to-point network by Dean Senko and all, and we focus on the washing machine because this is a larger load and it usually challenging to disaggregate. We focus on local explainability, and that is we want to answer the question why a particular decision was made for a given sample, for a given measurements. The main challenge of time series data explainability is how to intuitively explain and show the results to the end user. We don't have images here so that we can point to a specific pixel areas that were important for decision. We need to somehow, using the time series measurement, explain to the user why particular outcome was presented. Our contribution lies in new heat map based visualization method, and we illustrated using two examples, one true positive example and one false negative. In particular, we use the occlusion explainability tool. That is, we occlude part of the raw input data. Basically, we set it to null, and then we slide this occlusion window across the raw data. And when for each window position, we looked at the model prediction, and this is how we estimate the importance of the hidden part of the raw data. If the model outcome remains unchanged, this means that occluded part has little importance, and otherwise it has a huge importance. It has a significant importance to the outcome. We presented the results in the form of heat maps. Note that sequence-to-point network works by a sliding window approach, where we slide the window across the raw data, and for each window position, we estimate one outcome. So we estimate only the central point of the window. Besides this window, that is a sequence-to-point sliding window, we also have our occluding window of 50 samples, and we are sliding this window across the sequence-to-point window. And for each position of the occluding window, we are calculating the output, shown by red arrow here. And that is how, looking at the changes of the output value, we estimate the importance of the occluded part to the decision. So here you can see our results for true positive example shown in the top figure. So at the bottom figure, it's our heat map. So the occlusion window blocks 50 consecutive samples, and it is stepped across the input window from index 0 to 549. Prediction is then shown for the sample on the x-axis for different starting positions of the occluding window. So one should really look at this picture vertically, starting from the top towards the bottom. When we look at it vertically, we are fixing the sampling point, and we are looking at the importance of the previous occluded samples for estimate of that single sample point. So the heat map is aligned with the top plot along x-axis so that we can better indicate where the target point is. One can see now that 3 regions can clearly be identified. First, the starting point, the area 1, which is certainly the most important, that is when heating element is on. And we can see that once this area becomes occluded, there is a significant drop in power, which is the circle ellipse down shown as 1. Similarly, for the spin and draining part, we can see that there is a significant drop in power, showing that the output change in the wrong direction once we occluded the spin cycle area and draining area. This is now an example of the false negative example. So here we show an example that illustrates the limitation of the trained model to handle situations when we have overlapping activations. So basically a number of appliances are used simultaneously. In this case, in this example, there was another appliance that occurred around sample 575500. And when occluding this area, we expect that the network will make a true decision. Again, we can recognize 3 ellipses, areas shown as ellipses 1, 2, and 3 that correspond again to heating, spin, and draining areas. Note that the measures we also highlighted here, MAE, SAE, and NDE, and they really don't reflect well what is going on in terms of the reason and the quality of the outcomes. So we provided a heat map based method to explain the output of one DNN based neural model. The future studies should focus more on designing methods that are based on human grounded evaluations that are more intuitive for a user to understand why particular decisions are made. And there are also needs for addressing the bias in the data set.